This is the Agribusiness Report. I'm Tony St. James. We're in Washington, D.C. It's Farm Bill Week this week, and we ran into the Honorable John Rose. He represents the 6th Congressional District of Tennessee. Great to see you.
Good to be here. Thanks for having me on the show this morning.
We've talked for quite some time now, and is this second term?
Third term.
Third term for you?
Sixth year.
But Farm Bill, that's got to be exciting, the opportunity to tee up a Farm Bill finally and see if we can get this pushed across the line.
It is. I have enjoyed getting to serve on the Ag Committee in this session of Congress, and was trained as an agricultural economist and grew up working on our family's farm, and so this is one of those real pleasures of getting to be in Congress and get to have some input on the Farm Bill.
Now, we've heard in the past that when it comes to the Ag Committee, there's not a lot of partisanship. It's usually based more on regional differences, if you will. But when you look at the Farm Bill, the markup on this Farm Bill, does it look like there's something really in there for everybody?
Well, I think it is a pretty balanced approach. I think, obviously there's nutrition, and then there are the titles that relate to the safety net and support for the agricultural industry for farmers. And so I think the chairman has done a good job of kind of covering the entire landscape there and providing, the assistance that hopefully that will get us through the next 5 years.
Let's dig a little bit deeper. I don't want to go too deep into it because we've got a long way to go. The House Ag Committee has to get the work done. Then it goes to the floor. If it passes the House, we have the Senate. We've got a long way to go. Can we get this trailer pulled across the finish line before the end of the year?
Well, I hope so, and I think it's important to note that we've been working on this for a while, even back into the previous Congress, and so there have been a lot of visits, a lot of stakeholder engagement to get us to this point. But you're right, there's still a ways to go. The markup will happen this week in the House, and we hope that goes well. There's always could be some surprises there, but a chance for members to make final adjustments to the bill before it goes to the floor. Hopefully we can, work through that expeditiously and get a bill to the floor that can garner bipartisan support. This is one of the hallmarks of the Farm Bill year after year, bill after bill, is that it has to be bipartisan to get across the finish line, and I think that will be true this year as much so as it has been in the past.
The chairman had listening sessions across the country, and I saw you at a couple of different listening sessions. Does that help members to get out of your comfort zone, if you will, maybe out to a California or something to see agriculture in a different setting?
Absolutely. I think it was very helpful. I was able to go up to Pennsylvania to one of those listening sessions, also to the Central Valley in California. Really opened my eyes to some things, and I'd traveled some historically through the FFA and otherwise when I was commissioner, and so had some understanding, but it was very helpful to hear farmers and industry leaders from those parts of the country. And then thankfully Chairman Thompson allowed us to do one of these in Tennessee. I think the first Farm Bill listening session that anyone I could find was aware of happening in Tennessee, and so we're very proud to get to hear from Tennessee stakeholders as well.
Let's talk about something. I don't think I've ever asked a member of Congress about this, but black vultures? Why would we be talking black vultures?
Sure. So a predator, frankly, that has caused a lot of difficulty for cow-calf producers and sheep producers across the country, and particularly in our area. It's something that I've experienced personally on my farm. A species that is to some degree thought to be protected, but it's frankly gotten out of control and doing a lot of harm to the cattle industry. And I've lost cows and calves on my farm, and many of my neighbors have, and it's true all across the Mid-South and beyond. And so we have a bill that would allow farmers to take black vultures when they are a nuisance and causing damage to their herds. And we had a hearing in the Natural Resources Committee, almost a year ago, and hoping to get to a markup soon and have a Senate sponsor. Mark Wayne Mullen is sponsoring on the Senate side. It's been well received by the industry. I think people are anxious to see an opportunity to confront this nuisance to the cattle industry and to the sheep industry.
There was, and you mentioned Senator Mullen over in the Senate. There was a recent hearing where the forest chief was just relaying some of his frustration because of litigation that comes up. So anytime we're talking about protecting a species, or whether we're talking about predators, we have to worry about those that litigation that comes with it. Is that a concern moving forward?
Well, yeah, I think it could be. There are always those who don't understand what's happening. In the case of black vultures, the population has just exploded. They've moved beyond their historic range, and they're not just going after livestock that is distressed. They go after vibrant livestock in some cases, particularly in calving season. And we see that again with the sheep industry as well. And so, there are too many of them, and it's time that that farmers are allowed to protect their livestock.
Well, last one here for you. Again, third term for you. You've learned the hallways now, and the nooks and crannies, and how to move around through the Capitol complex. And after a while, you can become frustrated and just think of all of the obstacles. At the end of the day, are you still optimistic?
I am. I got to speak to some graduating classes over the weekend and young people. And, what I would say is, we are so blessed to live in a country where you have the most abundant, most affordable, safest supply of food and fiber in the history of human civilization. And the opportunities for this next generation could not be grander, really. When I was 18, 40 years ago, 41 years ago, some of my peers and I thought that all the good stuff had been developed and invented at that time. Well, we certainly know now that that wasn't true. And as I think about where this generation stands and the opportunities ahead of them, it's just fantastic. The advent of things like artificial intelligence will just open a whole new range of opportunities for this next generation. It's really fascinating and an exciting time to be alive. Lots of challenges, but that's always true. And so being in Congress, I will say, can be frustrating, as you've already alluded to. But the founders wanted it this way. They wanted it to be difficult to get things done because they wanted to make sure government was careful and methodical in how it approached dealing with the population. And so I think they got what they bargained for, and I think it works pretty well at the end of the day.
It's so good to see you. Thanks for taking the time to stop by. Can we do this again down the road?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Again, it's the Honorable John Rose, represents the 6th Congressional District of Tennessee. He's a member of the House Ag Committee, and from Washington, D.C., I'm Tony St. James. This is the Agribusiness Report.